and I would like Mr. William Bohm to present his cooperation with us in organizing this event today as our co-organizers. And we would like to thank the Textile Institute for their continuous support for the Egyptian textile industry. Thank you very much. Mr. William? William Bohm.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honour to be here and to welcome you to this very important Euromed conference on behalf of the Textile Institute, who has been involved in supporting this whole concept. I don't want to keep too much of your time because clearly there are a lot of interesting and important matters to discuss. But I think it probably would not be a bad idea if I spent a few minutes at least talking a little bit about the Textile Institute. Many of you here probably are members, either through your organisation or individually, of the Institute. But some of you may not know anything about us at all. So if I can take leave to spend just a few minutes talking about the Institute to you, and I should be around for the rest of the day anyway and look forward to individual conversations with you. Textile Institute is a unique organisation. I think I can safely say that. And it has been in existence for quite a long time. In fact, I think precisely 100 years. My own particular role is that I run a office for the Textile Institute in London. And I am a personal member of the Institute, and I came into the Institute from the previous institute, the Clothing and Footwear Institute, and I'm a fellow of that institute, a fellow of the Clothing and Footwear Institute, which is recognised through the association with the Textile Institute. The main office, the main headquarters of the Institute is in Manchester, as many of you will be aware of. So just to explain a little about the Institute, our mission statement says that we are a chartered professional institute. Chartered refers to our status in the UK, under the UK government, and particularly under what is known as the Privy Council. And that we are in being for all textile, clothing and footwear industries. And our mission is to promote professionalism and provide a global network for the long-term development of these industries. And just to unpick that a little bit more, within the global textile, clothing and footwear industries, the aim of the Institute is to facilitate learning, to recognise achievement, to reward excellence, and to disseminate information. If you find yourself in broad general agreement with that mission statement, then there is no reason why you should not be a member of this institute, either on an individual basis or through your organisation. And I would encourage you to be so if you are not. We have three main types of membership. One is our corporate membership, which can apply to companies or organisations such as colleges or employers' associations or whatever. Secondly, we have individual membership, and I'm an individual member of the Institute. And thirdly, we have student membership. Now, we see all of these types of membership as very important, and clearly the organisational corporate membership is a very important part of what we do, because corporations join us for a whole variety of reasons. They feel they can benefit from the associations that and the services we provide, and at the same time they are supporting the industry in its development of professional standards. And at the other end, student membership is very important, because it is students in the universities now all over the world studying all courses related to textiles, who are the future of this industry. And so we are very concerned with our student membership. But perhaps it is our individual membership which is the core of the Institute's work. And it is the individual members who supply perhaps the impetus for development within the Institute and within the industries. If I would return to the fact of our uniqueness, perhaps I could mention 3 aspects, or possibly 4 aspects in which we are unique. One is that we are international. Secondly, we have a great breadth of membership within all textile-based industries. And thirdly, we offered qualifications, chartered qualifications, to individuals working in these industries. My 4th point, perhaps it's not unique, but it is very important, is that we are a democratic organisation. We are an organisation run by its members, for its members. Returning to the first point, the international aspect, we do not compete with associations in individual countries. Most countries have employers' associations, sometimes in textiles, sometimes in clothing and footwear, and individual companies, of course, within those organisations. We're not competing with that. We're something on top of that. We provide the international dimension, the possibility of networking across the world, providing information, disseminating knowledge across the world. And that is a key aspect of what we do. Secondly, the breadth of membership. I think it is worth saying that in our members we have people from education, universities, and research. We do not do research ourselves directly, but we do encourage and publish research through our various journals. So that's an important aspect. Secondly, textile technology and engineering. And I think traditionally the Textile Institute is thought of as being primarily textile technology. But I do wish to dispel that impression a little, because although that is very important, we do also encompass, for example, fashion and design of fabrics and design in fashion, garments, design in footwear. And then we cover manufacturing, testing and quality assurance, and we cover merchandising, marketing and management within all sectors, and of course very importantly these days within the retail sector. So we speak for and represent all those different sectors of the textile business. And I think if you think about this, this is quite important, because so often I think we become pigeonholed, if you understand what I mean by that. We become immersed in our own area of expertise, and perhaps sometimes do not look a little bit wider. I refer perhaps to my own experience working in the clothing industry in the UK many years ago, and I was in the production side, and we had a design department, of course, and hardly did we ever speak with the design department, and we regarded what they did in the design department as a bit of a nuisance because they only made things difficult for production. Now that sort of barrier, perhaps I'm exaggerating that a little bit, but those sorts of barriers between designers and technologists are something that is very real, I think, in all aspects of industry and academia. And very often people can't speak to each other because they don't even talk the same language very easily. The language of the technologist is not easily understood by the designer, and vice versa. We do attempt within the Textile Institute to bring these different aspects together, and I'll give you an example of that. For example, in London, where I'm closely involved with a local section of the Textile Institute, and there we have frequent meetings, usually once a month, and we would have people from the retail sector, we would have people from textile technology, and we have people from the colleges, and we have students, and we have people who are young designers or setting up small design-led businesses. So there's a whole range of people who come together to discuss aspects of this business and learn from each other as a result of that process. Thirdly, I said our uniqueness lies in the qualifications, and we do award chartered qualifications to individual members. It starts with the licentiateship, which is the starting qualifications, and then goes to associate, and at the top of the scale you can become a fellow of the institute. These awards, first of all, are awarded by independent committee, and it's closely governed by the Privy Council within the United Kingdom, so we have to act very properly within the rules. And they are chartered. They are, for that reason, the associateship and the fellowship, are chartered qualifications. They're never awarded just on the basis of either academic achievement or industrial achievement. It is usually a mixture of both. So an individual would apply for a qualification, and that is looked at on the basis of his or her academic experience and of their professional attainment. And as a result of that, the appropriate qualification will be awarded. So it's a guarantee of a professional standard which is uniform across the world. And the fourth thing I mentioned, which I said was, I hope not unique, is that we are a democratic organisation. We're governed by a council and board who are elected by the members. And in our organisations at lower levels, sections, committees and so on, and special interest groups, these are all determined by the members. So the members have a great say in what is done within the Institute. I haven't time now to give you a complete account of everything that the Institute does, because you want to proceed without proceedings here. But just to give you a very quick flavour of some of the things that we do. We have international events. We have an international conference, an annual world conference every year. We have sections all over the world, and here in Egypt we're fortunate to have the support of the Egyptian Development Federation, and we have rules for the organisations of sections, and a section can be set up in any part of the world according to the rules of the Institute. Those sections need a chairman, they need a secretary, and they need a treasurer, and they need a committee, and then they can organise whatever events that they think are appropriate in their part of the world. We also have special interest groups, and this is more flexible perhaps than sections. The special interest groups can be set up by people who wish to converse or unite with other people with similar professional interest. We have a very strong weavers group, for example, and we have recently started a fashion and technology group which covers the clothing and footwear industries. We deliberately use the words fashion and technology now, because if you use the words clothing and footwear in colleges and universities, they're regarded as very unsexy. So we said, well, this is fashion and technology. But basically that's what it means. We have a design special interest group, and so on and so forth. We have magazines. We have research publications, as I said. We have an important website, and the website is www.textileinstitute.org. It's as simple as that, and if you look at that website you can find out a lot of information about us, and if you're a member you can go into the members only section and get information about all the other members and the network across the world. We also provide business information and networking information across the world. Very quickly, those are the sorts of things that we do and can do. Just in conclusion, I think I would like to say, well, we live in exciting times. This reminds me a bit, of course, of the old well-known Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. And at the moment we certainly live in exciting times. Two important aspects, I suppose, is one of the shift in world trade, in the patterns of world trade, which is obviously very important in this region, in the Euromed region, and the other blocks in the world, and particularly with the rise of China. There are dramatic changes and important changes taking place here. And I think the other big area of change is in technology. There are so many developments now happening, particularly with new materials, new types of materials, incorporating information technology, incorporating computers actually into the fabric itself. And even perhaps more exciting on the horizon is nanotechnology. So these are the sorts of things that are happening. I think the Textile Institute perhaps provides a framework within which you can discuss and make sense of all the things that are happening. Because all of us as human beings find it difficult to adapt to change, and we have to look at change very carefully and think about all the aspects of it and discuss it. This is what the Textile Institute enables you to do. So I would urge you, if you're not individual members, can I say, well, come along please and join us, and above all, not just join us but participate in this in these discussions, and perhaps this way we can move our industry forward and change the industry. Maybe we can even change the world. That's all I wish to say, except to wish you to have a very good conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bohm.